Okay, so this question was, how do you take a large design, take a small design and make it large in order to be able to put it on a wall? And the example was about a tree. And then additionally, what would you do with multiple colors? For example, if you had the tree one color and you have the hearts another color. Well, to get this tree, I went to the gallery and I searched for tree because I didn't want to design a whole new tree. So I searched for tree and I found out that there's 202 tree files in the gallery. So I just went looking through these. You could kind of choose the one that you would like. There's this one, that was all one color. Going down to page 2, there was a nice apple tree here, and it's 3 colors. Now, if I were doing vinyl, I think I would probably not want to do 3 colors, and I'll show you why a little later. So I think on page 4 is where I found this heart tree. So to get it, you just click on download, and it opens up a new page with the design. If you had a different design and it wasn't a tree but you wanted it really big, bigger than your mat, then we use what we call the tiler function. And I'm just going to close out some of these and get back to the one that I was using. So we have this heart tree, and you notice when I click on it, nothing is selected. That's because many of the files in the gallery are locked. To unlock them, click on the gold lock icon in the lower right corner and select Unlock All. Now everything is unlocked. And you notice on the right side that all the red pieces are on one layer and the tree itself is on another layer. And this is kind of important to keep the different colors on different layers if you're going to tile something really big. So let me zoom out a little so you can see the whole tree. Right now the tree measures 9.7 inches wide and 10 inches high. Now the most I could get out of one mat would be maybe 11.5 by 11.8 or so. So it doesn't really matter what your original size is. You can still use the tiler function. And to use that, we go to the wrench icon at the first icon on the right at the bottom. And we're going to click tiler, which you can also access using the shortcut Control-Shift-N. When you click on tiler, you have another window open which allows you to determine the final width that you want this to be, or the final height. And it will change that proportionally. So let's suppose that I want this design on my wall and I want it 36 inches wide. I would type in 36 and it changes the new height to 37 inches. Now, the tile width I have set at 11. That gives me some little room on each individual square to make sure my design fits on my 12 by 12 page without going over. You can choose the size tile you want. Let's suppose that you could use a 24-inch mat. I never use a 24-inch mat when I'm doing vinyl. It's too much for me to handle physically, a 24-inch design, without messing it up when I'm trying to put it on the wall. But you could do that. But I'm going to leave it right at 11 by 11. I find that working with one 12-inch square at a time works well for me. You can put in the width of your tile or the height as you prefer, and you can put in any new width that you want. Maybe you want it 6 feet. Maybe you want it 72 inches. So it's entirely what you want. Once you've made your selection here, click Preview, and you get an idea of how this is arranged. And from here, you might want to adjust a little bit of sizing. As you notice, there's several squares down here that aren't used, and I hate wasting. It means each one of these squares is a 12 by 12 inch piece of vinyl, and I'm just cutting a little bit of stuff out of each one. So I might want to change this so that it fits on fewer tiles. Let's see, maybe I want to change the new height to 33 and preview. Oh, now it fits on 9 pieces of vinyl, and I kind of like that better rather than having a lot of extra. These two don't have much on them, but it's better than the other, and it's still pretty close to the size I wanted. So I like to take a screenshot of this, because once we accept it, we don't see this picture again, and it might be very helpful when I'm trying to put this on the wall to know what each little square is supposed to look like, but what the overall thing looks like. So I might get my snipping tool and just take a screen capture of that and save that to my desktop. And I'll just call this tiled tree, just in case I need a reference for later. Now, once I've accepted this, you'll notice at the top here that I now have 9 different pages here. Here's my original page, and it's still there. Then it starts a new page for the upper left corner of that design. Then we have the first row, second square, first row, third square, second row, first square, second row, second. So while you would cut each tile one at a time. Now, when we're working with 2 colors, which I'm not sure I would want to, you're really going to have to hide one color, so you just cut the other. Then put on your next piece, hide that color you just cut, and show, just by clicking on the eye icon on the layer, show the next color. So when that's done, I would take those off. It does help to have about 3 mats, so that while one's cutting, you can be preparing the other, and while you're cutting and preparing one, you can be removing the pieces from the other. So I like to keep 3 mats. So I might cut the red first, then hide that, and cut the black or brown. Then you go to the next page, and the next page. Now, I would be tempted to combine pages, but that would be a problem for positioning. So I do recommend that you just do the pages as they are. Brian might have some other feedback about that. So you select each page one at a time, cut one color at a time, especially if they're mixed up like this, because you can't really put 2 colors of vinyl very accurately at the same time. So when you get all of these cut, then you're going to be using transfer tape to transfer them carefully in order to keep them in their positions. And you're going to mark your wall exactly where you want it, and then get your pieces systematically in order, and draw a line on your wall and start in order putting your pieces and butting them up right next to the next one on the wall. And there are plenty of videos online about how to apply vinyl, so I'm not really going to talk about applying the vinyl, but you see how quickly it is that Make the Cut automatically tiles all these pieces for you.